The English language has proved to be a remarkably resilient bond between India and the UK in the last 6 decades. Within India, English is widely seen as the language that enhances educational, economic opportunity and social mobility. And outside, Indian businesses have flourished internationally, Indian students, researchers and academics have won the highest global accolades, and English language has had a role in that success. However, there remains a gap in India between the demand for English language skills at grassroots level and the provision of quality training and teaching. Project English is British Council India's response to that scenario, where we try to make quality English language expertise from the UK accessible to the largest number of people, working with key partners here in India. And it's by working with partners that we can eventually have a real impact on the lives of young people, giving them the skills and knowledge they need for the 21st century. The Teacher Educators Conference, titled Starting, Stimulating and Sustaining English Language Teacher Education and Development in Hyderabad in January 2011, was an excellent example of the British Council working with partners and co-creating content that is relevant and meaningful in the local context. We had over 600 participants, including senior academics, decision makers from both the UK, India and 16 other countries at that conference.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you here this morning. This is the first international conference for English language teacher educators, co-hosted by the British Council and the English and Foreign Languages University. And it's fantastic to see over 500 delegates and speakers here representing 18 countries worldwide.
The conference was oversubscribed on day 1 with over 550 delegates registering by the morning. All the plenary sessions were packed while several parallel sessions drew large audiences. Sessions on CISELT pilot in Bangalore and Tamil Nadu film project were big hits. An innovative informal coffee shop session with focus group meetings on issues arising in the plenary or parallel sessions impressed all.
This is the first ever conference of teacher educators in India. And teacher education is fast emerging as a major concern in India. So for us, this was an excellent opportunity to be a partner in this important event. So we were really keen to make a beginning in this area. That's why we decided to partner this event.
In summary, I'd like to say that I think that teacher training needs to be appropriately targeted to get to the right people.
A good teacher needs to be very knowledgeable in the subject that they're teaching, but that's only one aspect, I think, of what really makes a good teacher. I think that in addition to subject knowledge, there's also considerable area for exploration around issues such as the rapport that the teacher has with the students.
We need to get our language right down here. Pupils don't know this word, but I've seen it happen. I've seen primary teachers use university vocabulary in the primary classroom.
The role of the teacher educator is absolutely central to the process of bringing about change in classroom practices. We talk a lot about the role of the teacher as the central agent and how it's the teacher who ensures that learners are able to achieve results in the classroom. And I think by definition, the role of the teacher educator is also central in ensuring that the teacher is able to achieve those results. So it kind of goes on like a domino effect, really.
I think one thing that I noticed was motivation, that inner urge to want to do something is basic to for a teacher to be able to learn, and that was available, which in a way I took for granted, because when you organize a top-down kind of a program in schools or anywhere, it is mandated, and people have to do it for either incentives or promotions or whatever. That doesn't work.
And so we wanted to bring together teacher educators and trainers from a variety of different contexts, from different countries, to share their experiences, to learn from each other, to get them thinking about their role and really trying to professionalise the role. And the English and Foreign Languages University was the ideal partner for us really, because they've got the local knowledge and expertise and have been working in this field in India for many decades.
The Teacher Educators Conference in Hyderabad in 2011 continued the conversation we started in 2007 with a series of policy dialogues, first in Chennai, then Kolkata, and the last one in New Delhi in 2009.
Institutional and organizational culture in the normal culture, it's more of a hierarchy. There's a lot of power play. But here we became independent in 1971, as you know very well. And since then, the language policy has been very much a focus on Bangla, which is our Bengali, which is our national language. What is happening in Bangladesh is that though children start learning from level 1, class 1 at the primary level, we do not have the resources and the teachers who are capable enough to teach them in the right manner. So we are getting a lot of students or a lot of language users who are actually very poor in language use.
About 50% of the schools in my region don't have internet access, or if they do, it's in the staff room. There are many schools that don't have projectors and computers in classrooms. And yet I think if I was to ask somebody maybe from Thailand, where I was last year, what do you think of the classrooms in Spain? They might imagine something completely different. So I am quite familiar with the fact that contexts vary.
Working with a team spread across several British Council locations, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Kolkata, representatives from the partner organization and a team of 28 young volunteers from EFLU posed a special responsibility for the project team.
Now we are actually caught in a situation where there are no teachers, there are no materials, but English is being taught. I mean, only God knows how it is being taught, but it is being taught.
At least for the next 50 years, it seems inevitable that English should and would become an integral part of the verbal repertoire of Indian children. Not, I have been trying to argue for a long time, not at the cost of other languages, but in the company of other languages.
Take note of this, that let us not ignore the languages of children in the classroom. A child whose language is dismissed in the classroom, is insulted in the classroom, is silenced forever.
So we want to say that equal opportunities should be given, equal opportunities for education, access to languages, access to all kinds of education should be available to all children. So that is the basic premise.
The particular advantage of this event has been the ability and the opportunity of networking. We managed to meet lots of agencies, people, organizations and individuals, NGOs as well. I think we will have a lot to work together in future from this event.
It was obvious to all present that a key moment in the chapter of English language teacher education in South Asia had arrived in Hyderabad. British Council and English and Foreign Languages University were there at every step, facilitating the unlocking of a boundless future.